Hello, everyone. Welcome back to OBScast, the official podcast of the Augustana Observer. My name is Olivia Doak, and today I'm joined by Observer staff Kevin Donovan,
Hello.
Taya Gonzalez, Jordan Cohn,
Hello.
and Giselle Barajas.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone. This will be the last episode of OBScast for the year, and to wrap up, we're going to talk about what life will be like moving forward for both seniors and returning Augie students. So to start out, we'll start with the seniors. Can you guys describe what your plans are post-graduation and what's that looking for in the near future?
That is such a painful question because so many of us do not know, or our plans have been thwarted by the pandemic, or our plans have been postponed for a while. And I'm one of those people, so that is particularly painful. But I, right now, am applying to a bunch of jobs in Chicago. Most of them, I'm trying to do some service with Justice Corps or some other AmeriCorps type service opportunity while I build up my credit and apply to law schools for the following year.
I'm kind of just planning on, I'll move out and go home. But from there, it's just going to be taking some time to just rest, because I have not done that seriously in a long time, it feels like. But then just to really just polish everything up and just really start applying as much as I can. But I'm really uncertain about all that, because I've heard stories of people's job offers getting rescinded because of the current situation, and just having to deal with one of the hardest markets, well, at least in a long time.
This summer I'm doing an internship with Compassion International, so I'm one of the lucky ones, but after that, I'm not sure what's going on.
Right. So you guys talked a little bit about those opportunities that are kind of up in the air. Can you kind of describe what that's like and how you're navigating that?
Gonna be honest, right now my focus is just making it through the rest of this year. There's a lot going on. I feel like there's a lot being asked of us. I personally just cannot handle dealing with after graduation right now. So I don't really know.
I'd say that mine is less make it through the rest of the year and more make it through every day. I've contracted the virus, so some days are harder than others. I'm experiencing every symptom that is currently known to man, but I'm really just trying to use this opportunity in recovering from this virus to reflect on my life, and it really has put into perspective the things that I value, and I've found that if you take it day by day, perfection is not necessary right now. This is a time for survival and emotional honesty, and it's okay not to have everything figured out, because your body and your brain are adjusting to the circumstances that are around you, and nobody has ever had to deal with this before, not in recent memory. So
yeah,
it's all right. That's what I keep trying to tell myself anyway. Verdict's out on whether or not that's actually working, because of all the programming that you must have a plan before you graduate, and you must do XYZ in order to be successful. I think for me, it's really just been about unlearning all of that and trying to remember that your life and your health are the only things that you have right now, and your communities. So try and hold on to what I have.
Yeah, I feel like right now we can't go along with that formula that we've been given, because our circumstances are so uncertain right now. So I think it's just everyone determining what's best for them at this moment in time.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like that's the hardest part, is not knowing what to expect at all.
Right, and for people with student loans, I know we get 6 months, before we have to start paying it, but even then, it's still kind of scary.
Right, because you have no idea if you'll even get a job, or I don't know. I feel like they should allow you more time at least. Well, that'll be interesting to find out.
Maybe interesting is the wrong word.
Terrifying, maybe.
Yeah, that's great.
Giselle, I know that you're not a senior, but can you kind of talk a little bit about like what your summer is going to look like?
So for my summer plans, essentially, it's still really uncertain. I'm still obviously going to be working at Target at least part-time over the summer, but I've been still trying to figure that out, especially because with applying to internships and having a lot of like applications or like job companies like emailing and mentioning that they're getting rid of internship programs and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of stressful. So we'll see how that ends up working out.
So what kind of internships did you apply for?
Well, I applied to just as much as I could, emailing some like local newspapers, applying to some also like national companies to see if anything would work out, video internships, writing, pretty much anything, and then like political internships as well.
How is that working credit-wise if internships are canceled? I mean, like obviously you won't get those credits, but is the school doing anything about it?
Well, I didn't have anything official yet, just like internships, like emailing like applicants saying that they were canceling their program.
Yeah, I kind of experienced the same thing. I applied to so many places and I didn't really hear back from anything, and I can't tell if it's because of the whole situation or if it just didn't work out. And so I don't know, that's kind of hard for me too, because I like to know that kind of stuff, you know. So people have been talking a lot about this being like a big recession. So what are your guys' kind of thoughts on that, and how do you feel about it?
I mean, obviously I'm worried. I don't really know what life is going to be like when I go home. I know that I need a job and fast, but I don't know who's like I don't know where I can apply. Like I don't know who's gonna even bother looking at this point. Mm-hmm. So it's just a lot of unknown, and I don't even know where to look for certainty.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, people in our field, you know, that we're aiming for, they're getting let go. They're not getting hired, and I haven't done any research regarding that whatsoever, but in a recession, I feel like that's typically what happens, so that's kind of unsettling.
Yeah, I found it kind of interesting because literally this morning I got like an email from my accounting professor like talking about how we should major or minor in accounting because it's doing a lot better than other jobs during recessions. So I found that kind of funny and also kind of
So they told you to just change your major.
Yeah, essentially she was like, you guys should really consider a minor or a major considering what's going on.
That's funny. Not terribly helpful though. So do you guys think that this is something that, well, obviously your first jobs right out of college are going to be impacted to some extent, but do you think it's something that you're going to look back on like 30 years down the line and be like, that really set me back? Or do you think it's something that can be overcome?
Personally, I don't really see this as a setback or as a push forward. It's just how things are in terms of jobs. Like, yeah, it's going to take me a while to figure it out, but I think that in the long run, experience will still be experience. For my field, in terms of graphic design, I can do a lot of that work digitally, and yeah, a lot of it will be, I guess, set back by not being able to do in-person work, whether that be photography or whatever else I might need for whatever project I'm working on, or if it's like a video project of some sort. Like, yeah, that would be a significant setback, but I think that it's still going to be career experience. I think. I don't know. That's a lot of I thinks.
Yeah, I agree with Kevin. I think if anything, life has just been put on pause, and everyone's life has been put on pause. So it's not like, I don't know. I just feel like it's on pause, and when we finally hit play again, everything's gonna work out just fine.
I am of the opinion that this is going to hopefully radically change the way that we think about affordable health care, about testing, about the way that we respond to pandemics and disclose health information. I am hopeful that this entire experience will radically change the way that we are doing things. I was in an environmental disaster course, I believe my sophomore or my junior year. And the thing about disaster is, although it's like horrific and awful and everything that people do not want, it's also useful because it shows us, it like reveals the places, the chinks in our armors where our societal infrastructure is just not working. And in so many ways, especially in talking about like who is most vulnerable for this disease, we are not doing well and taking care of those people as a country. And I think that I'm just very hopeful that after we heal as a country and as an earth, because of this pandemic, I'm hopeful that things are not going to be the same. I'm looking forward to things being very different, and in a lot of ways better for everyone.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a really great way to think about it.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, but also like remember that the primaries are like 6 months away, so like I don't know what's gonna happen. Nobody knows what's gonna happen, but I think for me, I'm getting to the point where I'm trying to liberate myself from thinking that there's like one right way to do this. And if I think about like, especially now when the virus is in my body, like no day that we have is guaranteed. And that's really just made me reflect on like how thankful I am to be able to have the education that I'm having, and that like even now when things are wild and when people are dying and when everything that we have is socially distant from each other, it's going to end. Like it's going to end, and we're going to be okay, and I'm going to recover from this virus, and so many other people are going to recover, and we've just got to take it one day at a time until we can't anymore.
Yeah, choose hope.
That is such good advice.
Thanks.
What is it like to have the virus?
Me right now, it's I literally have every symptom imaginable.
Really?
Yes, it's not fun. It is not fun at all.
Man, that sounds awful.
Here's something that I have noticed though, is I get one of two responses. It's only ever one of two. People are afraid of me and people are afraid for me. So it's either like, please don't touch me, like you're gonna give it to me, or oh my god, I'm so sorry that you're dying, what can I do to help? And it's oh god, you got a pretty specific one now, because people are recovering every single day, and it's not good for people who have COVID to be hearing like, one, you're a pariah, don't touch anyone ever, or two, you will die if you get COVID. And that's not the case at all. That's not for the majority of the cases, that's not true. And I think it's all about like recognizing your privilege and understanding that like you're gonna be okay. Like, you really are gonna be okay.
So did you like go to the hospital and get tested, or like what happened?
Yes. So my dad tested positive first, and we think that it was because he started having like fever and fatigue, and just feeling generally crummy. So he got tested. We thought he was just like overworked from his job, but he is a hospice nurse, so it's likely that he was exposed to COVID-19, a COVID-19 patient at his work, and then brought it home. And then within a few days, we started showing symptoms, so we got tested too. We went to the testing center. The Department of Health has been very thorough about this. But we went to the hospital, and then they gave us a swab. The only two options I know of right now are like the nasal swab or the deep throat swab, both of which are very unpleasant. But I got the deep throat swab. You can read more about it in my article that I literally just published online at augustanaobserver.com.
Well, for returning students, I know the big question is, are we going to come back in the fall? And so what do you guys think about that?
It's good to be prepared for either scenario.
I think it's too soon to say, but I certainly hope you guys do.
I mean, if we are going back, I mean, a lot of people and myself assume that, like, there's going to be a lot of, like, extra precaution measures that the school's probably going to take, or at least, like, the students.
I feel like there's this kind of general, maybe not national, but mindset that when this is over, it's just be like flipping a switch to going back to how things were, quote unquote, how things were. And it's not at all going to be like that, I think. It's gonna take a long time to kind of ease back into what we used to call reality. And I like Augie's gonna be the same way, I think.
I've heard from a lot of professors that it's probably going to open, but open different. So rooms are going to be like seating arrangements in classrooms are going to be less close together. Maybe class sizes are going to have to be smaller so there's more space in between people. And probably masks are going to be mandatory on campus.
I also heard there might be a variation between live classes and online classes, so they'll have both, maybe.
Yeah, I can't imagine walking around campus with a mask on, but I guess it's better than the alternative of being doing online classes.
Mm-hmm. If it's going to be online, then administrators have to think ethically about whether it's okay to be charging people the same amount that they're charging for an on-campus experience when it's an online experience.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's anybody's fault, but like if an entire semester is going to have to be online, that's not what people are paying for. They're going to have to adjust.
It's valid.
They're going to have to adjust for that.
Thank you all for joining us today. This has been OBScast. We'll see you next fall.